All right, viewers, we are back and we are still on. What are the causes of domestic violence? Why do you think it's not being reported, especially among immigrants in diaspora? Let's continue with you, Dr. Para.
Okay.
We have talked about the shame. We have talked about the stigma. We have talked about cultural differences and values. Now, what is the next one? Why is it not reported?
It's not also reported because of fear of deportation.
Okay.
Some of the people that come here, immigrants, not only people from Africa. Some of them come here without papers, or they are in the process of making their papers, and they don't have legal status in the United States. So they are afraid that if they go to the police and report domestic violence, they may be deported. Okay. So that's one of the reasons why it's being underreported.
And I've also heard that sometimes in most of these relationships, either the husband or the wife, depending on who is the person getting the legal papers for you, can also use it to manipulate you. Okay, if you like, call the cops. I will tell them you don't have papers. And most of the time, you don't want to be deported, especially when you have left wherever you came from. So you decide, okay, I can deal with this as long as I get my papers. Can you want to jump in here?
Well, I mean, people will use intimidation and use any
and that's intimidation.
Anything they have an upper hand on to intimidate others. So if somebody has paper and you don't have, he's gonna use that against you. However, just understand that your life is worth more than the paper.
Exactly.
You can come to America. Not everybody that came to America would get his or her paper. Exactly. But rather than die or being killed by your so-called partner, it's better for you and your mom and your parents to have you back. Unless you don't have self-worth and you want to stay here and die because somebody is beating you to a pulp. Well, again, like I said the other time, it is your fault.
And the reason for that, like Mr. Ken said, is because of ignorance, which is the fourth reason.
That's the fourth reason.
Ignorance in thinking that you have to stay in that abusive relationship to get your papers. That is the good thing about VAWA. Okay. This is the only one that allows you to self-petition without a sponsor. So if you are in an abusive relationship which you have reported to the police, and the police is investigated it and you are being thoroughly abused, we're not talking about fake cases, we're talking about the real cases of abuse. Okay. Then you can petition for yourself and still get your paper without your abusive partner.
Okay, so guys and audience out there, I hope even if you didn't hear whatever we said here today, I want you, especially for the immigrants out there, Africans, Hispanic, all immigrants, if you're out there and you are in a domestic violence relationship, you are in an abusive relationship, but you are taking it because you are thinking that is the only way you're going to get your legal papers in the United States of America. Guys, we are here to tell you today it is not true. You can still petition, self-petition for yourself, go through the VAWA, you call it VAWA?
Yes.
Laws, which is violence against women. Go through that and petition yourself. You can still get papers for yourself.
And
you
also for your children.
And also
what are your derivatives?
You don't have to die because you need to get paper. Because one thing is funny about this. You might actually get the paper and die the next day after getting the paper.
Yes.
Then that makes no sense.
That's why I said that getting paper or staying in America is not worth your life unless you don't have value for your life.
Exactly. Exactly.
Life first.
And guys, we have social agencies that can help you.
Okay.
Maybe you don't know that. There are battered women shelters. There are other people that help immigrants to fill out all these petitions that we are talking about. I know some concern about this is finance. How do I finance it? Lawyers are expensive. Some of us are not as expensive as we would like to be. But what I'm saying is this, and make it clear to everybody today, that some of us can work with you. But if you don't have any money, we have several social agencies that can help you for free, where you can get legal advice, legal help for free. You can call up any hotline for domestic violence in every state. Every state has one hotline that you can call and they can help you file some of these papers.
Oh, okay. So you can get help out there.
Yes.
You just have to go and ask.
Yes.
Guys, like we have been saying in this whole domestic violence series, speak, speak, speak. Tell, tell, tell. If it makes you a tattletale, Please be a tattletale. Tell until you get help. Talk until you get help. Speak until somebody hears you. Because nothing in life is what more important than your life.
Yes.
Your life is the most important thing. And then I want us to say something about the children. You said something, Dr. Para, that the children are really the victims of domestic violence. The husband is in jail. The husband is in jail, the wife is dead. But what happens to the children?
Information.
Let's start with you.
Information. Yes, the children appear to be the most hurt, but no, it's not just the children. In a matrimonial squabble, there are no winners.
Exactly.
Everybody loses. The woman that came here to be with her husband and is now alone, is that the best life for her?
No.
The man that had gone to Nigeria and gone through all this trouble to bring in somebody, now he's alone again, is that the best for him?
No.
And I am a man. When you go through divorce, it's pretty much like mourning.
Yes.
It's a loss of something.
Yes.
It's a death of
You have
something.
lost something
And you
important.
go through this, you don't know how much it's going to affect you.
Yes.
Some people go through it and they never get up again.
Yeah.
So don't think that when you push the woman away, hey, you will go next
be
time
happy.
and be happy. You are not going to be happy.
Nope.
So understand that in domestic violence, there are no winners. Everybody is a loser.
Yeah, but can we talk a little bit about
Everybody
the
is
children?
a loser, but the children lose more. And we're talking about situations where the violence has escalated to death.
Yes.
The father is in jail. The mother is dead. There are little children, especially in our society. They're going to be put in foster homes where they can be abused, where a lot of things can happen to them. It's a toss-up game. They can be put in a foster home where they're getting the attention that they deserve. But sometimes they don't get that. And moreover, it scares them for life also. It's a vicious circle. Statistics have proven that if a man abuses his wife, his children will also do that, unless they get help.
Well, I agree with you.
So those are the consequences.
I agree with you that death is an extreme case. And then in a situation like that, if the man or the woman dies, of course she is not here to know what is happening. It is the living that goes through the suffering and all the rest of them. However, even where it doesn't get to that extreme position, you find out that a boy at the age of 12 living with just the mother is not going to develop like a man. For one, there are certain things boys do that no matter how tough the mother is, she cannot control him. You cannot play the soft and the hard aspect of the family. Take for instance, if as a woman, you tell your 12-year-old boy who is becoming naughty, I'm gonna kill you. First of all, he's not gonna even listen to you. Just tell him, I will tell your daddy. It solves all the problem.
That is true only in situations
where the
family is working well. In a situation where a man beats his wife, he loses regard. The children do not regard him that way that you're thinking.
Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying. You're talking about
you don't know.
normal situations.
No, you don't. I'm talking about normal situations. I'm saying that we should do everything within that is possible to avoid domestic violence. That once we have the domestic violence, the children suffer.
Exactly.
Because, like I said, if the boy is living with the mother, the father is not there again. So he's going to be raised by the gang in the neighborhood. Whereas if they had a peaceful family where there's no domestic violence, the father will be there in person and in spirit to curtail the excesses of the young kids growing up.
That's true, Ken, but you're forgetting some other factors where we have single parents. It's not only as a result of domestic violence.
Exactly.
Single parents can come from death. They can also come from divorce. They can come from sickness. I don't agree with you that. I agree with you on one point. A man needs a role model. A boy needs a role model. A boy needs a role model who is a man. But it's not every case where a role model is not there that a woman cannot raise her son.
Because a woman can be a single parent, not because of domestic violence,
not because of choice,
but because of maybe the husband died of sickness.
So she will have to raise the boy.
She's left to raise the son.
And that boy will amount to something. Also,
no,
people like Obama. and
Okay.
other people.
Okay.
He comes from a divorced family, but he was raised properly.
We are talking of best case scenario.
Yes.
If a woman is in a position where she has to raise her son, of course
She will do her
she
job.
will do it, but that's not the best case scenario for her. She would have preferred a presence of a man.
That's true. That's true.
And I'm saying that when you get married, we are talking of domestic violence, which implies that there is a man and a woman at the onset.
Yes.
If death occurs and the woman has to do what she's got to do, of course,
She
would bite the bullet and do her best. And there are instances where the kid has turned out great.
Of course.
But if you take statistics, I'm not a statistician, I don't know the percentage. Most of the times, depending on the neighborhood you live, if it is a bad neighborhood and there is no man in the house, that kid is facing an uphill task.
That is correct. I'm not trying to undermine the role of men in our homes.
Yes, that's true.
But like they said, one of my aunties always said that, you know the adage, 2 heads are better than 1. One of my aunties always say, provided there are 2 good heads.
Exactly.
So let me bring it here. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
A man is needed in the household, provided he is a good man.
He's a good role model.
If he is not a good role model, we are better off without that. Because that even backfires and ruins your children worse than anything else.
That's true.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
Doc, incidentally, you were not here in our last conversation.
Yes.
And I'm saying that some problems could be resolved before they ever started.
That's
Correct.
true.
And I agree with you. I'm not
Now,
disputing that.
if you marry a man for the wrong reason or marry a woman for the wrong reason, the future is gonna be faced with disaster.
That is correct.
That's a given.
That is correct.
So if you are honest to yourself and ask, I am a man, what is it that I'm looking for in a woman?
That's correct.
It's not her profession.
That's
Exactly.
correct.
If she comes into my place without enough education, she can go back to school and study whatever she likes. But if I marry her because she's a nurse, I have no respect nor love for her.
That's correct.
It is an investment, and when that investment fails, you say domestic violence sets in.
That's correct.
And I'm saying one way to prevent this is don't marry somebody because of her profession.
That is correct. I agree with you.
So you are not
100%.
even faced with a scenario you have to deal with domestic violence.
That is correct.
Okay, let me throw this in because some people that watched the show called in and they were asking me, okay, what are you guys saying? Because everything we say because she's a nurse.
Yes.
So what are we saying? I want also that the audience that are nurses out there don't get very mad at us thinking we are saying because you are a nurse, automatically you are involved in the domestic violence. Let me ask this question. Is the nursing profession the problem or the people that are doing the profession? What is the problem?
Both.
Explain.
Okay. Some years ago, I traveled to Nigeria.
Okay.
And I met an old friend. I told her, it was like a joke, but I was serious, that I was in the market for a wife.
Okay.
And she asked me, you want a nurse? And I was like, why a nurse? And she said, everybody from America comes to get a nurse.
Exactly.
I'm like, you didn't ask me how educated the woman needs to be. You didn't ask me about her family and all the things that in our culture make sense. You didn't ask me that question. You were asking me about a nurse. So if she's a nurse, I disregard every other thing. She says, that's how you guys in America behave. I was like, oh my God, you're teaching me something.
Exactly.
But this is a bad lesson. I ain't taking it.
Okay.
So that it registered in my head. Before she came to that conclusion, she has seen a lot of people that came in looking for nurse. So a good number of, look, things are tough in America, granted.
Yes.
And you always think, if I have a great support, nursing is one place you can easily get a job.
Yes. It's a stable.
Yes, it's very stable.
Yeah.
So as a result of that, a good number of people go to get somebody who is a nurse to come and make money. You don't know anything about her. You don't know anything about her temperament. You don't even care about her family. You probably met her in the township.
Or maybe you met her in a nightclub.
Or whatever.
In the hotel where you were lodging.
She's going to come in as a nurse, fine. Get her nursing job. But the money is not yours. And when that investment fails, you got a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
So on that respect, it is the problem of the people involved.
So secondly, it's not the profession.
It is part of the profession.
Okay.
I'm coming.
Okay.
Now, a good number of times, nurses make a lot of money, not because the profession is highly paid.
Because of the overtime.
They work a lot to make this money. So I'm supposed to have a wife that will work maybe 8-10 hours. But she goes in there, spends 16 hours, 20 hours, day in and day out. She works 6 days, 7 days in a week. Now,
16 hours, 7 days.
16 hours, 7 days. After some time, I begin to feel like a second level bachelor. A good number of men don't know how to cook. In America, we fix stuff. That's to say, you get some junk, throw it together, put it in microwave, and you have something to stuff your tummy. That is not food. When a man goes through this, he begins to build resentment. And then, if for any reason, if the woman is paying the bill, okay, there is so much he can endure until one day
until she starts paying the bill,
he will burst. So that's where the profession is part of the problem. Nursing compels them to work more than a human being is designed to.
And I agree with Ken.
Jump in here,
I agree with Ken on one point.
Okay.
The problem, like he's explained, is the women. The other problem is not only the women, it's with the profession. Okay. I agree with that to some extent. I have no instances of women who are nurses, but their husbands have given them mandate not to work more than 8 hours.
Exactly.
Some men love money, and they are those men that specifically
ask for 6
go
hours
and marry a nurse.
Yeah, exactly.
I know of a woman, she just gave birth. She's the breadwinner of the family. It's not that she's a breadwinner that is the issue, because her husband is also employed, but she makes more money. The problem is that she just gave birth and she was mandated
to go back
to work. Less than a week. She went to work and she passed out. Ambulance was called. Because of that singular act, she spent 3 weeks in the hospital. Why? Because her husband loves money. So in this situation that I've given you, it's not the profession and it's not the woman. It's the love of money. Don't get me wrong. Money is good all around because you need money to survive.
Exactly.
What is the root of all evil is not money. It's the love of money.
Okay. Here, I would like to make an observation.
Okay.
That observation is a good number of people watching this. If the husband says you can't work more than 8 hours, may misinterpret it as an abuse, because in their shallow way of rationalizing, he's telling me what to do. Now, guys, whether you're a man or a woman, whenever you're in a home and you can reach a consensus, that's the best way to. I'm not saying the man has to tell you work 10 hours, work 5 hours. But when you discuss and arrive at a conclusion acceptable to both of you, that is good. If you as a woman doesn't like, if as a woman you don't like how you are being forced to work, that's an abuse. Okay. But if you like working overtime and the man doesn't like you to be out there so that he becomes Mr. Mom, please let that money pass. Your family, if you have cultural value, your family is more important than the dime and penny you make every day.
Okay, guys, let me jump in here before we go on a commercial break. We have agreed on 3 things. An audience out there, please don't crucify me. I love nurses and I love the nursing profession, and we all do. But what we are saying is that we can blame the women to an extent.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they are the ones that love money. They are the ones, I have seen husbands complain that they have told their wives, you are spending too much time at the hospital, you need to come home, and their wives have refused.
And that is because the bills are not getting paid.
It's not always the bills.
Hold on.
I'm not saying it's always the case. Sometimes.
Sometimes is because maybe one, the bills are not being paid, and number two, these women actually love money.
Sometimes they love money.
Sometimes they actually love money.
Well, hold on, Ken. I want to bring it down.
Hold on. Sometimes they actually love money. That's the first thing, because we have to, audience out there, if we keep saying, they might not get what we're saying. The second point we have agreed on is that the profession, just like Ken said, because this is one of the few professions that can let you do overtime.
Yes.
That can let you work more hours than you want. I have seen some women do 16 hours, 3 days in this hospital,
16 hours,
3 days in this hospital, and the only one day they have, they go do PRN in another hospital.
And that goes to the issue of the victims being the children.
Exactly.
So who is minding
and the man too?
And the man too.
And the man too.
Yeah, the man is a victim.
He didn't marry to be alone.
No. But some men married to have the money.
Okay.
No, we're not talking of people crazy.
Alright, hold on.
I wanted to add this observation.
Hold on, guys. I know you guys are heated, but hold on. Let us be rounding it up so our audience can know what we're saying.
Yes.
And then the third point we mentioned here, which we all agreed, is not the woman loving money. Some of it is the woman loving money. Some of it is the profession. And the third part of it is the man loving money. And that's where we talk about men, like Ken said, that specifically ask to marry nurses or bring their wives over here and make them go do the nursing profession because they want the money. And such men, like Dr. Opera said, when their wives come and say, hey, I'm going to do only 3 days, 8 hours, it's going to cause trouble in the house.
Yes.
Because the man married you, like Ken said, is an investment.
Yes.
16 hours Monday through Sunday. And now you don't want to do it. You are not giving me my dividends. So that is a problem. So those are the 3 areas we have agreed on. And guys, please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
My name is Attorney Ijoma Opara, reaching out to you this afternoon from Omega Studios, Atlanta, Georgia, at the Unique Show. We handle immigration cases, federal drug cases, drug crimes, and family matters. You can reach us at the Law Office of Opara and Associates in Houston, Texas, 281-895-8003 or 281-895-8057. We handle all kinds of cases and we go all over United States. You can always give us a call. We are very aggressive in what we do and we're hands-on. Thank you. We're waiting for your call. Llámame si habla español. Thank you.
All right, viewers, we are back. We stopped at the love of money. We talked about nurses. Is the problem with the nursing profession or the problem with the nurses themselves? We arrived at 3 conclusions. Number 1, some of these women love money. Nobody is making them do 16 hours Monday through Sunday. They are doing these 16 hours because they want to go out there and shop. They want to do several things out there. Number 2, we talked about the profession. Nursing profession is one of the professions that will let you work 16 hours,
give you the opportunity
to do that. So the profession in a way encourages them, because if you're going to give me 16 hours, I'm going to get a time and a half. Why don't I just go ahead and do it?
That's correct.
And number 3, some of these men also love money.
Yes.
They go down there and marry you because you're a nurse, and then they bring you out here. They are now used to a certain lifestyle, and you have to go out there and do 16 hours to maintain that lifestyle. So we're going to continue from there. So as we are talking about this, now let's deal with this separately. We're going to deal with the women loving money. Why do they do that? We're going to deal with the men, why they love money, why do they do that, and then we're going to talk about the nursing profession. But a point of information, please, guys out there. I don't want anybody to think we are saying nurses are the only ones involved in domestic violence.
No.
No. because nursing profession is not the only profession where people are being abused.
No.
There are other professions out there. The legal sector, education, all kinds of sectors. So, but we are concentrating on the nursing, or we're talking more about the nursing because that is the one we always hear.
Yes.
And so, please, nurses out there, I apologize again. I'm not out to get you guys. I'm just trying to inform, educate, and empower.
That's correct.
So now let's go to the women. Why do you think these women do 16 hours? Why do you think they love money? Why do you think they do this?
Well, a number of times, a good number of people may not have the wisdom to tune down their tastes.
Okay.
They want the best and most expensive of everything, even where their income cannot accommodate that.
Okay.
For instance, a woman comes in, she has uncountable number of shoes. She keeps buying as if she's obsessed with shoes.
Okay.
As if that's not enough, her wardrobe is filled up with some clothes she doesn't even know that she has. All these things cost money. And then she also wants to impress her friends. This is somebody making, let's say, 40,000 per annum. Because of overtime, she could raise that to 60, 70,000.
Or even 100,000.
Okay. And now, instead of having just a decent car, she wants Sequoia. There was a time in Atlanta I thought that Sequoia is a signature for Nigerian nurses.
Same in Texas.
Every one of them wants Sequoia. You are paying a house note on a house that is mobile. You really can't afford that. And under that circumstance, every day the person has to go to work.
To maintain the lifestyle.
To maintain the lifestyle. Then, instead of buying a house that is,
Reasonable.
good for reasonable, she wants to be seen as middle class. False life will always bring problem. Whether it is coming from the part of the man or part of the woman,
Exactly.
false life is a setup for disaster, for failure.
That's correct.
All right, Dr. Pra, jumping with the women. What do you have to say about why do you think most of Mr. Ken talked about they want to live a certain way, too many worldly things, material things, they are materialistic. What about you? What do you have to say? Why do you think most of these women do this number of hours just to make money?
Like you said, some of them do that because they love money, just for the love of money, and the love of this lifestyle that they want to maintain. That's why they work overtime. So I can agree with you guys on that some of them work so hard or work overtime. There is really, you can live a comfortable life. You just don't have to kill yourself because you love money.
All right.
But when it comes to shopping, I have to agree that most women shop. America is not the only place women shop. Women are traditionally known from shopping.
Okay.
In Nigeria, women go and buy abada, Georges, whatever. Some of you have seen August meeting. It's a showcase. But what I'm saying is that they can tone that down.
Exactly.
And curtail on the number of hours. Why? Because of the children.
Well, yes, in Nigeria, everywhere you have women, they shop. That's true. However, our circumstance in America is peculiar. For instance, if a man has a house in Nigeria, he's not paying car note.
That's right.
So that man can afford to overlook whatever the wife is doing. I know a lot of my friends whose wife make money, they don't even know how much
they make.
And they don't care.
That is correct.
In America, the setting is entirely different.
That's true.
You pretend to have this house that is not paid for. Every month, you have to pay a lot of money, and if you don't come up with that money, you become homeless. So that puts a lot of pressure on the man and on the woman, and therefore on the family.
Okay, now let's say something else, because a guy asked us this question, and I'm going to throw it to you guys.
Okay.
Most women work too much from the guy's perspective, not because they want to maintain their husband, but because they want to buy ashebis. Ashebi every week for wedding, baby shower, christening, graduations. Do you think Ashebi is playing a part on these women working too much?
Ashebi is just a part of that bloated test.
Okay.
Bloated material test. If it is not Ashebi, it's gonna be sure. It's always one thing or the other that she doesn't need, but she has to have because, hey, in her mind, it makes her feel good. And it is actually nothing.
That's part of the ostentatious life that we're talking around. If they can cut down on some of those lifestyles, they may be able to cut down on some of these hours and pay attention.
Just remember that your family
comes first.
Is more important than the time you spend in the hospital trying to make money. Everybody likes
not
money.
only in the hospital, so
or wherever you work, whatever you do for livelihood.
Exactly.
Everybody likes money, including me. But don't sacrifice everything
Every other thing
at the altar of chasing that money. I've seen some people who have kids, and the kids would be calling their babysitter mommy.
Yes, it has happened. They don't recognize.
They don't know their mother because she
correct.
comes in at night when the kid is already
And
asleep,
going to bed,
and in the morning the kid doesn't see the mom.
That's correct.
So after some time, he or she no longer knows who the mother is. The babysitter becomes mommy. That is ugly for family upbringing.
That is correct.
Okay. So if your test is the thing that is pushing you to walk at the detriment of your family, please stop it.
Cut it down.
All right, guys. So we have talked about that. Women out there, all my viewers, audience, everybody out there, please listen. We are now talking only on the women, just the women. If you are out there doing 16 hours, Monday through Sunday, because of you want to have the latest shoe in town, the latest bag in town, you want to wear designers, you want to have the biggest car in the neighborhood, you want to live in the biggest house in the neighborhood, guys, it's time you stop. Because it puts pressure on your children, it puts pressure on your marriage. Your husbands did not marry you for you to be gone. If you're gone all the time, you have already set a place up for domestic violence. You have already invited abuse into your family. Because after some time, he takes it, after some time he busts. Then there is trouble in the family. Now let's get to the male folks. Why do you think men want their women to work too much? Why do you think? Whether they are nurses or not, why do you think they do this? Let's start with you, Dr. Parra.
I believe that is the same thing we are talking about. Men have a lot of peer pressure. They've seen fellow men living in big homes. They've seen fellow men riding big cars. They want to enjoy those lifestyles. And I'm very sorry to say this, and I'm not trying to be a male hater, but some men have become lazy. So but they still want that lifestyle without that work. And like we said before, the nursing profession avails them that opportunity to do that over time and make that money faster than any other way. So they send their women to work overtime. Some of them don't mind being baby nurses. They don't mind being that. Or being the housemaid in the house. They don't mind that. As long as that money is coming in and maintaining. There's also pressure from back home, which is also causing some of these men to love money. Because when they send money to their families, make them better, give them what they want, their worth in the society is also higher. They are regarded higher. They are called on chieftaincy title, all kinds of crap. And all those things also motivate them to push for more and more and more. So it's like the men may not be shopping, but they do have responsibilities back home that also push them to push their wives to work all the time.
All right.
Well, what I may have to add is, today, if you marry a wife and you sandwich the name wife for slavery, that's wrong. Whenever when you get a partner, you are not bringing the person in to come and make money for you or to come and feed you.
That's correct.
Yes, we know, as they say in America, sometimes shit happens.
Yes.
If a man loses his job and the woman is the breadwinner, that is supposed to be for some time until he gets up on his feet again.
That's correct.
Often at times, the woman may be making more money. There's nothing wrong with that.
At all.
However, in our culture, I am an Igbo man. A man who is continuously being fed by his wife has no respect as an individual.
That is correct.
So it's not enough that your wife is making money. You have to have self-esteem to go out and do something.
And hustle. And hustle.
Now, the idea of Mr. Mom sometimes may be necessary, but please do whatever you can to make that as the very last resort. It's not a position that a man invites to himself.
No.
To become a Mr. Mom. Your children will grow up and instead of daddy, they are calling you mommy. Because you are always the person at home taking care of them. There's nothing wrong, guys, with taking care of your kids. But as a man, you are the lion. Step out, try to earn a living. You may not be successful Granted. However, people
Still
around,
try.
you have to convince yourself that you are making
That you're trying.
good effort.
That you're trying.
And if you are doing that, I'm satisfied with you.
And sometimes that's if this what you have brought out now is very, very important.
Yes.
Because when children grow up in a family where the man, I'm saying this because of our earlier discussion about the role of men in their children's lives. When children grow up in a family where a man is not stepping up, it also affects the way they look at him, the respect he has, and the things that happen in the family. And this builds a lot of resentment because the women now take over, and because the men are feeling inadequate because the woman has taken over, it leads to domestic violence.
All right, guys, you have had it straight from them. Guys, please, all my guy viewers out there, please, I am begging you. I don't care how much you make. If it's $2 you're bringing to the home,
Bring it in.
step out there and bring in your $2.
That's correct.
If your wife is bringing in $10 million, let her bring in, but please don't ever sow your birthright. You are the head of the family.
That's right.
Be the head of the family and step up and take your rightful position. Once you begin to do what you are supposed to do, even with your $2, any woman will respect you, irrespective of your $2.
That is correct.
It becomes a problem that will lead to domestic violence when you refuse to bring the $2 and sit at home and send her to go get the $2 and also get her $10,000. That position you have put her in has made her the head of the family. And when she begins to give her orders and her rules based on the position you have placed her in, then you begin to say no, domestic violence will occur.
Or like Ken said, you sit at home and be Mr. Mom, but you still want to control the money or whatever is coming in. You can do that if you are contributory to it. But if you are not contributory to it, it becomes an issue because like we're all talking about, the man is the head of the household and the woman is a partner, an assistant in that head. But when you switch the roles, where the woman becomes the head of the household,
now the man has to
you
take the
cannot
other
have
position.
you cannot have two captains in the same boat.
Well, you
have to take the assistant position.
You also have to understand our psychological disposition.
Yes.
Both as men and
As women.
As
That's
women.
correct.
If a man is making good income, it is in his nature to take care of his family.
That's
Exactly.
He
correct.
can afford to share, and he doesn't feel anything about it. That's the nature of men.
Exactly.
If a woman is making the money, no matter how good she is, it is not in her nature to share. As they say, what a man has is ours. What she has is hers. So, I'm not saying that this is right or wrong, but that's just the way it is.
I don't agree with that.
Hey, you may not agree with
I
me.
don't agree with that at all.
Hey, let me finish. Let me finish.
Yeah, no,
Now,
it's free to
if
talk.
a woman is carrying the home for some she can only do it for some time, and she can't do it anymore. She's going to bust.
Yeah.
Whereas, if a man is comfortable and carrying the home, he can do it until he dies. He doesn't care. So that's a natural psychological disposition.
That's true.
But my argument is this, why I say I don't agree with you, is that from time immemorial, women have been known to work hard to maintain family. Even if they are selling crayfish, even if it is palm kernel that they are doing, they are working towards the family. That's not the issue. The issue that I see is that a woman is willing to share as long as she is part of the process.
Exactly.
A woman is not willing to share when she's not part of the process. But a man by nature, which is why I say I agree to an extent, while a man by nature must
He's
take care
willing
of the
to share,
family because that is
exactly.
his role as the head of the household. But a woman will share with you if she is part of the
Part of the
process.
household.
But you cannot make a woman work 16 hours every blessed day. And then you still want to control without making her part of the process. It doesn't work. And that's what leads to domestic
I
violence.
think you didn't get completely what I was trying to say.
Okay, maybe I lost.
If
I lost
a woman in the countryside is selling sacred fish, she makes her money. She's going to buy food, cook it, and bring to the husband.
Yes.
Fine. She has no problem doing that.
Right.
But if the husband wants this woman at the end of every market day to come and make account. Here, I made
That's
X number. There's gonna be a problem.
But in Nigeria before, that's what I'm saying. In the time immemorial, women used to pass their checks to their husband with the food. It wasn't a problem. Women are willing to pass their check if they are part of the process.
Okay, so audience, you know, when they talk, I summarize. Okay, so what we are all agreeing is this: a woman is willing to work and help in the family, like Ken said. If a woman goes and sells crayfish, and she brings it to the family, and gives it to her husband, and her husband say, madam or whatever, darling, honey or whatever you call her, you brought $5 in, I have $10.
Thank you.
And we want to build a house in Nigeria. How do we go about it? A woman will willingly give that $5 because she is part of the process. That's what she's saying.
That's my point.
But when a woman brings her $5 and gives you the $5, and then you call her and say, hey sweetie, I'm going to build a house in Nigeria, and she said, please honey, when you're building the house, can you make my kitchen a little bit big, because you know I like kitchen. You say, hey, I'm the head of the family, I make the decision, just give me the money. That is where
you're having issues.
So two of them are saying the same thing. You guys are saying the same thing. Ken is right. Women, naturally, we are not built to take the role of being the head of the family. We are not built that way. A man from our culture, physically, psychologically, emotionally, men are groomed to be the head of the family.
That's correct.
A man can decide to say, hey, my wife, I don't want you to work. I want you to take care of my family. And that man can take care of the wife and the children until he dies.
If he's
and
able.
He's able, and it's not a
and it's not a
there you go.
But when a woman, for any reason, the man says, hey honey, I don't want to work, I want to stay and take care of the family, it rings a bell.
It builds resentment.
Yes,
immediately.
Because the woman, like two of them are saying, the woman is not built that way.
No.
Thank you.
We are not built that way.
No.
We might do it for a little while, and then we'll begin to tell you, are you ever going to get off and go
do some work? You're the head of the household.
Because that's not the way
that's
we
the way she puts it on her good days.
Yes.
The day she feels bad, you become a useless man.
Yes, she'll call you a few names. I mean, I agree with you on that. She'll call you a few names. So if you don't want to be called a few names, you have to get up and do the right thing.
So please,
and do the right thing.
Audience out there, women out there, and men out there, please, men in particular, like Dr. Oprah said, if you don't want to be called some few choice words, said some things to you,
get up and do something.
Get up and do something. And women out there, it is okay to share. Men out there, recognize that if she is smart enough to go make the money, she is smart enough to be part of the process.
That's correct.
If she is smart enough to go there, do her job, and bring $4,000, $5,000, $2,000, $1,500 back to you, that woman is also smart enough to sit down with you and discuss about the project we are going to do, discuss about who we are going to give money to, discuss about what we are going to do with our income. She is smart
about the
enough.
children.
If she can go out there and go to school and make money for herself, guys, let us give her a little bit of credit. Because I had somebody tell me this. Somebody told me, if you give a woman attention and a shoulder to lean on and a listening ear, that woman will lay down her life for you without blinking an eye. You just have to know the things to do. She can give you her paycheck. She can give you everything she owns. But you have to make her feel she is part of the process and that she is important enough and she is a contributing member of the family. You can't take her money and then tell her she's a nobody and then tell her she's not contributing in the family. Domestic violence will arise.